Welcome to high school softball today as we bring you all the action of the New Philadelphia Quakers playing host to the Carrollton Warriors in a battle of two teams, the largest high schools in each of their respective counties. Of course, Carrollton in Carroll County and New Philadelphia here in Tuscora County. We are on the hill at Tuscora Park in New Philadelphia today for the matchup of these two teams. New Philadelphia coming off a win on Friday when they went to Byesville in Meadowbrook and hammered on the Colts 21-3 as Carly Ross's team stayed undefeated on the season. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll hear from Coach Ross and find out about what the power start to the season has done for the Quakers. Certainly in the circle with pitcher Julia Miller, who has been outstanding to be sure. In one of the games earlier in the campaign, she struck out 20 of the 21 outs that the New Philadelphia Quakers faced in that particular contest. So we'll talk with Coach Ross about that, and obviously putting 21 runs on the board against Meadowbrook in Guernsey County yesterday, the offense continuing to improve. We'll hear from Coach Ross. That's coming up next as our live broadcast of Quakers softball rolls on.
I just wanted to play.
I just want to play.
I just want to play. I just want to play.
Play. Along the way, I'm learning
Sportsmanship.
Teamwork. How to work hard.
How to work hard. Discipline.
Hustle.
Sacrifice.
How to be a leader.
Dedication.
I just want to play.
And along the way, I'm learning
to put the team before myself.
How to be a student.
I'm learning
to set a good example.
How to work hard.
to accept responsibility.
That I represent my community.
I just wanted to play, and look where it took me.
She's done it! Tiana Bartoletta has done it! From Elyria, Ohio, now an Olympic gold medalist.
The Quakers softball pregame show continuing on this live stream of New Philadelphia Quakers softball. I'm Bill Morgan, happy to be joined by Quaker head coach Carly Ross. Coach, obviously your team off to a good start this season as folks get to watch your team on Facebook today. What are your strengths in the early part of the year?
Our strengths in the early part of the year have been working as a full team. Our bats have really come alive in the first couple games, and of course on the mound with Julia Miller, our defense is pretty stellar as well.
Talk to us about the victory on Friday. You guys won against Meadowbrook, and not only did you get good pitching in the circle, you put 21 runs on the board.
Yes, we did. Our bats are really coming together, and we're trying to know how to string hits together as a team and moving runners around and not leaving anyone stranded.
Quaker head coach Carly Ross, our guest. Coach, you mentioned Julia Miller's name, and for people who aren't familiar with Quaker softball, this is a player that has really pitched well from the very beginning when her career started at New Philadelphia, and she's only getting better. Tell us about her strengths.
Her strengths, she's just an all-around great leader. She is a junior this year, and she is verbally committed to The Ohio State University. She just throws the ball very hard, and she's been working on a changeup and drop ball, and those are coming along really nicely.
Coach, when you talk about the ability to put up numbers, numbers aren't always the key thing, but one of your wins earlier in the year, she struck out 20 of the 21 outs. That's pretty much dominance in the circle.
It is, absolutely. She was very dominant in the circle that game, and the other out was, of course, made by our defense. So, again, we're working as a team and winning these games.
Coach, the opponent today is Carrollton. How much, if anything, do you know about them headed toward first pitch?
I do know their record shows them being pretty successful in this first part of the season, so we are not taking anyone for granted, and we're going to come out here firing.
Tell us a little bit about the JV team. I know you're the head coach of the varsity team, but you know what's down on the JV level. They've had some early season success.
Yes, they have. It's a lot of fun when we get to go to practice and watch these JV girls work hard on their skills and practice, and of course always getting better. So
Philadelphia, you came from a place where there certainly was a program in Strasburg, and you can be good for a year or two, but if you build a program, then you've got a chance to be good long term. How do you make all of that happen?
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work not only during the spring, but also during the summer, fall, winter, as much as we can, of course, following the guidelines. But we have these girls trying to play ball all year round at some sort of capacity, whether on a travel team or with New Philly. And with that program, the girls are realizing the excellence that comes with all of the hard work.
And for those who think the coach simply comes out and rolls the ball out before the game, I'm talking to the coach during this pre-recorded pregame interview after she hung the team banner on the wall in center field. So, Coach, you got to do a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. You have to do everything just to help the team look the best that they can.
Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck today.
Thank you so much.
More on the Quaker softball pregame show and first pitch coming up right here on Facebook Live.
Claxon Custom Printing and Promotions is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Contact Casey Claxon or Judd Bone at claxonprinting.com for printed t-shirts, embroidery, and branded promotional products for your booster club or business.
We can also help your team set up an online fundraising store to sell your team apparel to fans across the country.
Visit claxonprinting.com or call 740-623-2145.
Just minutes away from first pitch today as the New Philadelphia Quakers take on the Carrollton Warriors. Bill Morgan, happy to have you along for softball today. It is a beautiful day at Tuscora Park, a chilly one, but you know what? If you're familiar with the high school softball and baseball in the state of Ohio, chilly is usually a good thing because sometimes it is ice cold. That is for sure when it comes to the early part of baseball and softball. But one thing's for sure, as we sort of talk about softball and baseball seasons shifting into high gear, these teams are just happy to be playing because in 2020 there was no high school baseball or softball season. So this opportunity for both visiting Carrollton and New Philadelphia to play, that is certainly one thing they are very, very excited about, to be sure. And the start to the campaign, as you were hearing Coach Ross say, that is Julia Miller, the junior pitcher who has been outstanding, striking out, important to be sure, 43 strikeouts to only 4 walks on the campaign. A softball insider in the Tuscora County area, Tobacco was her maiden Augsburg Tigers. So certainly a playing campaign and getting guided in a program that is not only the best in Tuscaloosa. And while we talk about Julia Miller in the circle, and you'll hear that name early and often today, this offense has really been picking up in this team. Brittany Fenton, and she said, you know what, we need to score runs, and Brittany will be a key part to that for an opportunity. The national anthem prior to first pitch today. We'll take a timeout and get ready to go. All the play-by-play action. It's visiting Carrollton and New Philadelphia coming right up as we give you live stream of Quakers softball.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So, where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the circle behind the plate today, the senior Emily Cardani. They will be the battery for the Quakers. One thing that I'm happy about, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I had my Quaker polo on, had a long sleeve black shirt to match it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring my jacket along just in case. It seemed all right when I stepped out the back door. I live literally about a 30-second drive from the field, but once I got up the field, and Casey Claxon and the technical crew, Greg Perkins, they'd been up here for quite a while, and they sort of gave me that arched eyebrow look like, you better get your jacket on. So, jacket on it is, but it is a crisp and pleasant day for softball. Leading things off for Carrollton today, sophomore second baseman Bailey McClelland. Julia Miller in the circle on the first pitch of the day. A called strike. Calling the balls and strikes today, Ron Emmerich behind the plate. Rod Desecker is the base umpire. The 0-1 offering, fouled back, and that's out of play. 0-2 the count as Miller quickly jumps ahead, as we were mentioning during the Quakers softball pregame show. Julia fires strikes in large quantities, 43 strikeouts on the year. The 0-2, high and outside for a ball. The JV teams for these two squads will play after today's varsity contest. Originally scheduled to be played in Carrollton. The 1-2 pitch, that's fouled back and out of play as the count will stay at 1-2. Coaching at third base, Carrollton's head coach, Shane Ball. Miller ready, and again the 1-2. Fly ball into center field. Millie Goodwin coming in, and one of the seniors on this team will make the catch for the first out in the first inning. Now to bring Michaela Ball, the junior center fielder, to the plate. Daughter of the head coach. Always a little bit of added pressure. People will say there's not, but believe me, there is, especially at the varsity level. And she waves at the first offering from Miller, 0-1. Miller to the back of the circle, then back up onto the rubber, and the 0-1. And a swing and a miss on the heat. Now, one of the things Coach Ross was telling us in the pregame show, Julia's really been working on the changeup because she can throw hard, the 0-2. That shows bunt, fouled back and off the screen and counts as a strikeout. And foul a bunt attempt on the third strike, so 2 outs in the inning. As Miller, only a junior for the Quakers, will now face her opposite number and Carrollton pitcher Jaden Pigeon, a junior. First pitch to Pigeon, a called strike. Julia has already verbally committed to pitch at Ohio State after her senior campaign in New Philly, the 0-1. Way behind on that swing, and the count 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, that's low for a ball, 1-2. Miller ready, and the 1-2 offering outside, ball 2, 2-2. We were mentioning earlier on the Quakers undefeated on the year. Beat a former league rival on Friday. The 1-2, a swing and a miss. So the Warriors go 1-2-3 in the top of the third after half inning of play. Carrollton scoreless, and New Philadelphia coming to bat.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here's the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and
three against the Quakers. One of those three that matters team. That's Lily Goodwin, and Lily coming off a 8 speed. Takes a couple of practice chops as she gets ready to face Pigeon. So Lily Tuscora Park field. The first pitch, a swing and a miss as Pigeon. Lily hits it from the left side of the plate. Fouls the next pitch off the backstop. Third base side, 0-2. Second on this Quaker team. High, 1 and 2. First 3 for the Quakers. Lily Goodwin, as you're seeing, next offering. Fouled out of play over the Quakers' third base dugout. That's why you do not park your car if you don't want a damaged windshield. 1-2 again, and not a big sports fan. And she would say, why are we parking a half mile, which of course is somewhat of an exaggeration away from the field. I said, do you want to replace the windshield, front door? Times in 20 years of marriage. My wife said, well, yeah. Once she saw people's cars get hit by softballs, she said, you're right. I've heard that 3 times in 20 years, if that tells you anything. That ball slowly grounded to the mound. Pigeon has it, throw to first base just in time to get the speedy Goodwin hustling down the first base bag.
Next up for the Quakers, number 8, Madison Wright.
And if you're somebody who's a casual watcher of the game, one way that softball, in my mind, is completely different from baseball, it's really a game of speed because the bases are shorter, 60 feet down the baselines. A swing as Madison Wright fouls it straight back 0-1. But one of the ways it's completely different, if Pigeon bobbles that ball in any way, shape, or form, they don't get Goodwin going down the line. No way, not with Lily's speed. The 0-1 pitch, a swing at a miss, 0-2. Around the Carrollton infield, Melena Havens at third base, Demi Leary at short, Bailey McClellan, the second baseman, and Ashley Vipperman at first. The next pitch, down low for a ball. Jaden Pigeon is the pitcher. Anissa Flanagan behind the plate. We'll give you the outfield in a moment. And at New Philadelphia, something that, quite honestly, you don't see too often anywhere, and both these teams have it, freshman shortstops. That's what Madison is. The next pitch, that's down low and in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Wright attempting to become the first base runner of the afternoon. Pigeon checks with Flanagan. There's a line drive, base hit into right center field. Digging around first base and going to third, and instead of a base running error, and instead of being thrown out at third. But top hitter. The number's at 500. That Warrior outfield we were promising you from left to right catch. The 0-1 pitch, low and outside for a ball. Plenty of sun tomorrow. Lots of family gatherings. The next pitch, Miller hits a long fly ball to left the bat as Miller ripped it to dead center. Owns the home run to center field, 1-0 Quakers. The Warriors and the Quakers combining for 10 underclassmen in the starting lineup. And right past the left fielder, catch shepherded all the way to the wall.
Next up for the Quakers, number 5, Chelsea Froman.
Quakers leading 1-0, bottom of the first inning from Tuscora Park. Pigeon's first pitch to Froman, sailing outside for a ball. Ready is Pigeon. And the 1-0 pitch. Blooped and past the glove of the second baseman. Rounding third, heading for the plate. Here comes a throw to the plate. Safe at the plate, and New Philadelphia up 2-0. As Froman reaches on the air. And she's at first.
Number 9, Jenna Miller.
So the Quakers, a 2-0 advantage. Chelsea Froman at first base. Now to bring New Philadelphia third baseman Jenna Miller to the plate. Jenna with a home run earlier in the week. Looking to add more to what has already been a Quaker 2-run first inning so far. You can see Froman at first base. Ready is Pigeon. The next pitch, that's down low, ball 2. Claxton Communications happy to be partnering up with WTUZ Radio and Big Z Sports for baseball and softball action all throughout the course of the season. A swing and a miss by Jenna Miller. 2-1. We'll be telling you about that throughout the course of today's broadcast. Coverage beginning next week. Softball. Joe Geckler and Chris Kale will call it. The next pitch, that's fouled straight back, 2-2. So after falling behind in the count 2-0, Pigeon has battled back 2 consecutive strikes, and things now even at 2-2. Quakers with a runner on, 2 outs. The next pitch, a swing and a miss. That's the inning, and the Quakers score 2 and leave 1 aboard after an inning. New Philadelphia leading Carrollton 2-0.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next
The Warriors, under head coach Shane Ball, come to the plate for their second go-round against Shane Ball's team. Now, how do you know Coach Ball is tough? The guy's wearing shorts today. One of 2 things, Coach Ball is either tough, which there's no question he is, or he's crazy, or possibly a little bit of both. I'm over here in a jacket. If I was smart, I probably would have bought gloves, and I'm not talking about softball gloves. Leading things off for the Warriors here in the top half of the second, freshman third baseman Belena Havens. Julia Miller, Quaker junior pitcher. Next offering, a swing and a miss. So after a ball to begin inning number 2, back-to-back strikes, Miller struck out 2 of the 3 she faced in the opening inning. And the 1-2. That's fouled back and off the mask of catcher Emily Cardani. And if you've never been a catcher, softball, baseball, and taken one of those off the mask, you have no idea what it's like. They just shrug it off like it's nothing. The next pitch, a called strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. And after the first batter of the game, Bailey McClellan flew out to center field. Miller has recorded back-to-back-to-back strikeouts. That'll bring right fielder Gracie Rutledge to the plate, and a swing and a strike. Quakers played at 2 in their half of the first inning. Could have been 3. The next pitch, a swing and a miss. So Rutledge behind on that swing, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Going to be a lot of people behind the pitches from Julia Miller. Next pitch, outside perhaps a bit low, 1-2. Miller gets the ball back from Cardani and walks to the back of the circle, and the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss.
Next up for the Warriors, number 25, Ashley.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Carrollton senior Ashley Vipperman. Well, we mentioned the one game earlier in the year for the Quakers when 7 innings, high school softball, the pitch to Vipperman, high for a ball. 7 innings, so in a regular 7-inning game, 21 outs. And Miller struck out 20 of 21 in that game. There's one fouled and skips along the ground. 1-1 on Ashley Vipperman. Strikeout to walk ratio coming into this softball weekend for Miller. 43 strikeouts to 4 walks. And a swing and a miss by Vipperman, now down in the count at 1-2. Miller ready in the circle. And the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. So Miller fanning the side in the top of the second after an inning and a half on Claxon Communications. New Philadelphia leading Carrollton 2-0.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
New Philadelphia ready to come to the plate for their second go-round against Carrollton pitcher Jaden Pigeon. Quakers in the first inning had 3 hits, scored 2 runs, including a long blast out of here to center field by Julia Miller. Peyton Murphy to lead things off for the Quakers here in their half of the second inning. Pigeon's first pitch outside for a ball. Peyton, a freshman. Pigeon checking in to get the signal. The next pitch, called strike on a pitch that looked like it might have been a little bit high and a little bit outside, but 1-1 the count. In the opinion of the only person that matters, home plate umpire Ron Emmerich, he said strike. The 1-1 down low, 2-1. Pigeon ready. Pitch to Murphy, a swing and a miss. Interesting to watch on this chilly Saturday afternoon. Some of the players with jerseys and long sleeve shirts underneath the jerseys. Some players with jerseys and no shirts underneath. The next pitch, that's outside for a ball. Some players like Murphy at the plate, the Quaker left fielder, she's got on a sweatshirt over her jersey. So just depends on player preference. The next pitch, called strike 3. I think Murphy thought that pitch was outside. So 2 up and 2 down for the Quakers. As it was 6, 7, and 8 in Coach Carly Ross's lineup coming to the plate. Now, McKaylin Helmke at the plate, fouls the first pitch off. Helmke, a junior. The 0-1, that's popped up foul, and that'll get over the first base dugout of the Carrollton Warriors. 0-2. Pigeon gets the new softball and quickly to the back of the circle and out of the rubber. The next pitch, a slow roller, foul down the first base line. So now when I go to Carrollton, which isn't all the time, maybe half dozen times a year, you can't find a Ponderosa anywhere anymore except in Carrollton. So I'll go to Ponderosa. The next pitch bounces down low and in the dirt. I'm getting heckled by the Peanut Gallery for even bringing up Ponder. I like Ponderosa. I don't know what's wrong with Ponderosa. There's a line drive foul and out of play down the right field line. New softball in play. The pitch, line drive into right field, and nice catch over in right field, moving a little bit toward the line for the Warriors and making the grab, senior Gracie Rutledge.
Up to bat for the Quakers, number 3, Brittany Vinton.
So that'll bring the DP, Brittany Fenton, to the plate. Batting for the catcher, Emily Cardani. And slaps it to short. Scoop the throw to first base just in time to get Fenton hustling down the line. So the Quakers go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. After 2, the Quakers leading Carrollton 2-0.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At nfhslearn.com, you can find over 70 courses, including more than 30 free courses, such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. To learn more, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Two innings of play. New Philadelphia leading Carrollton 2-0 for the Quakers. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left on base. They played errorless softball. For Carrollton, through 2 so far. No runs, no hits, none left on base. They've made 1 error. It'll be 7, 8, and 9, and Coach Ross's lineup for Carrollton here in the top of the third. Starting things off, freshman shortstop Demi Leary. Leary hitting from the right-handed side. Julia Miller has struck out 5 in a row for the Quakers. First pitch, sailing high for a ball. After Leary, it'll be Anissa Flanagan and Kat Shepard. The 1-0 pitch, called strike. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 on Leary, who made a nice play from short to end the Quakers' second. That pitch inside, ball 2. Miller checking in with catcher Emily Cardani to get the signal. And the pitch, a swing and a miss. 2-2. Leary way choked up on that bat. The 2-2 pitch, that's fouled off and off the backstop on the first base side here at Tuscora Park. Miller ready. And line drive, foul, and gets out of play down the right field line. Mentioning earlier on the Claxon Communications partnering with Big Z Sports to bring you softball and baseball action throughout the course of the season. That'll begin in the middle of this coming week, Wednesday, April 7th. The next pitch down the first base line, and a nice grab by Chloe Long at first base. Really had to get extended, and Chloe grabbed it for the second out. The first out of the third inning. Newcomerstown will be at Central Catholic. Joe Geckler and Chris Kale will have the call of that game, a swing and a miss. For Carrollton's catcher, Anissa Flanagan, the senior. Next pitch, high and outside for a ball. So you'll get softball and baseball action with the Big Z Sports team and Claxon Communications. Next pitch, missing. For a ball to count 2-1 on the right-handed hitting Flanagan. Miller ready. The pitch, a called strike, 2-2. 5 Ks so far including one looking for Carrollton through the first 2+ innings. The next pitch, a swing and a miss. Cardani will scoop it after the ball got to the ground, throws on to first to officially record the out. Now to bring the left fielder, Cat Shepard, to the plate. Quakers up by a pair. Both of their runs coming in the first inning. Julia Miller hit a home run to start the Quakers scoring in the first. Miller's pitch here sailing high to Shepard for a ball. After Cat Shepard back to the top of the Carrollton lineup. And second baseman Bailey McClelland. Miller ready. A swing and a miss on the second pitch Cat Shepard sees from Julia Miller. Now Adam Saweski, who's also a part of the Big Z Sports team. And next pitch, a swing and a miss as well. Now Adam started this game on the public address. I don't know if they dismissed him from his responsibilities. He's already not on the PA call. He wasn't dismissed. He was pinch hitting, a swing and a miss. So another strikeout, as a total of 7 so far on this young part of the game for Carrollton. After 2.5, it is New Philadelphia leading the Warriors of Carrollton 2-0.
Your actions in the stands impact participating students, including your child. Be respectful. Be supportive. Do your part in creating a positive and educational environment for everyone. To learn more, watch the Parent Seat video at the NFHS Learning Center.
The New Philadelphia Quakers coming to bat. In the bottom of the third inning for Carly Ross's team. Back to the top of the order, Lily Goodwin, then Madison Wright, then Julia Miller. Quakers had 2 in the first inning, were held scoreless in the second inning. Goodwin in her first at bat. Grounded back to the pitcher, Jaden Pigeon. Lily, that slightly leaning back stance. First pitch from Pigeon, a called strike. Pigeon checks in with the catcher Flanagan. The next pitch, high for a ball. Pigeon ready again to the circle, and a swing and a miss by Goodwin. Mentioned Lily's run with the Quaker basketball team. Back to playing softball. That pitch fouled out of play. Easily sailing over the Quaker third base dugout and out into the parking lot area. That was one of those that might have hit the pavement and started to go down the hill toward the baseball field where Quaker baseball team playing today. Pigeon's ready. The pitch lined into center field, and that will fall in for a base hit. So Goodwin, a leadoff single here in the top of the third inning. Madison Wright, who ripped a double into right center, and her first at bat, but was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple, will come to the plate. Wright, only a freshman, 1 for 1 today. Pigeon's first pitch to her, low and outside for a ball. And while without question, Coach Ross likes her team to be aggressive on the base paths, Wright fouls that one back and out of play. And that's out in the middle of Wabash and just about hit a Papa John's delivery car out there. Casey Claxton, who really runs this show. You hear my voice, but Casey's the executive producer and director and 15 other titles. He wanted to know if I ordered a pizza. That's not a bad idea. No, I did not. The next pitch, and good one on the run easily into second. That ball got away from the catcher, Flanagan. So Goodwin advancing to second on the stolen base. Quakers trying to build on what is a 2-run lead. Sailing high and outside, and we probably could order a pizza from Papa John's. And here's a really good idea. I'm sure the baseball public address announcer, Denny Trimmer, probably has an account at Papa John's. That ball, a short fly ball into right field. That'll fall in for a base hit. Goodwin will dig for third. She's going to round third, come to the plate. Here comes the throw, and she's safe at the plate. Goodwin gets around the tag and reaches back in with the left hand. And meanwhile, while the catcher Flanagan, wondering what's going on, advancing all the way to third on the play, is right. So now Carrollton's coach, Shane Ball, going to come out and want to know what happened. Ron Emmerich, the home plate umpire, talking things over with the coach, Shane Ball. You can see them in the left side of your picture. And I think one of the things Coach Ball may be asking is, did she come out of the baseline as she reached back in to get toward the plate and to avoid the tag? And probably a legitimate question if you saw the way Goodwin sort of avoided that. But the bottom line is no change in the call. Goodwin scores right, records her second base hit of the game, and picks up an RBI as well. That'll bring Julia Miller, who homered, to straightaway center field in her first at bat. Quakers now up 3-0. First pitch to Miller, high and outside for a ball. Bottom of the third inning. Quakers up by 3. Pigeon's next pitch. Line drive into center field. And that will fall in for a base hit. Scoring from third base is right. And the Quakers now up 4-0. So Miller 2 for 2 and 2 RBIs in this game. And, oh, by the way, if that's not enough, she struck out 7 batters so far in her pitching role. So the courtesy runner in for the Quakers. Chloe Long. Long doubled on a shot to left field in her first at bat. First pitch to Long outside for a ball. So Prouty, the courtesy runner at first. The next pitch, a high fly ball into left center field, and the Carrollton center fielder drifting over and making the grab. That's Ball, the junior. So 1 out in the inning. That'll bring Chelsea Froman to the plate. Chelsea reached on an error on the second baseman back in the 2-run Quaker first. Hits a slow roller to short. The third baseman going to field, though on to second base. Not in time, as base umpire Rod Desecker says safe at second. So Prouty safe at second. Froman reaching on the fielder's choice. That'll bring Jenna Miller to the plate. Quakers trying to add more in what has already been a 2-run inning. First pitch to Miller, high for a ball. And talking about Prouty out at second base being the courtesy runner in high school softball, what you can do is have a courtesy runner and a swing and a miss by Jenna Miller. This Pigeon offered that next offering in this at-bat. And for the pitcher or the catcher, the courtesy runner does not count as a substitution. The next pitch, that's fouled straight back and over the backstop and out of play. So the Quakers, and these odd-numbered innings so far, the first and third, have done damage. 2 in the first, 2 so far here in the third. The next pitch to Miller, she battles it off, fouls that one from Pigeon back and off the backstop. Julia Miller certainly helping to lead this team both at the plate and in the circle so far today. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, a run scored. The next pitch sailing inside for a ball and has kept Carrollton off the scoreboard with her pitching efforts, having struck out 7 through 3 innings so far. Miller, a senior and a third baseman. The next pitch, that's low for a ball. And Carrollton and their pitcher, Jaden Pigeon, 1 pitch away from loading the bases. The next pitch, there's a line drive into center field. A nice running catch by Ball to throw back to second base. Goes over the second baseman's head, so a nice play in center field by Michaela Ball for the second out of the inning. That'll bring Peyton Murphy to the plate. Murphy struck out in her first at bat against Carrollton junior pitcher Jaden Pigeon. First pitch, a swing and a miss. Murphy, the left fielder. 00 on her jersey, only a 9th grader. The next pitch, low and outside for a ball, 1-1. A swing and a miss. The next pitch, high for a ball. Quakers having added 2 here in the third, trying to add more with 2 outs and 2 on. Pigeon for Carrollton trying to prevent that from happening. The next pitch, a line drive and a nice snag at third base by Melena Havens to end the Quaker third. But not before Carly Ross's team adds 2 more after 3. Quakers 4, CHS nothing.
Claxon Custom Printing and Promotions is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Contact Casey Claxon or Judd Bone at claxonprinting.com for printed t-shirts, embroidery, and branded promotional products for your booster club or business.
We can also help your team set up an online fundraising store to sell your team apparel to fans across the country.
Visit claxonprinting.com or call 740-623-2145.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Julia Miller facing her 10th batter of the day. She's faced the minimum so far, and a swing and a miss by Warriors leadoff hitter Bailey McClellan, who flew out to center to begin the game. A swing and a miss. McClellan finding herself in an 0-2 hole against Julia Miller. Coming into this weekend, she had not allowed a single earned run all season. Next pitch, misses outside for a ball. Julia ready in the circle, the talented right-hander with a pitch, a swing and a miss. So McClellan fans, and that becomes strikeout number 8 for Julia Miller. Michaela Ball, a couple of nice plays in center field this past inning, coming to the plate. She struck out in her first at bat. Next pitch, missing out of the zone for a ball. Miller ready. Ball ready at the plate. The next pitch called strike at the knees on the inside part of the plate. New Philadelphia, 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the third. Carrollton yet to score. It's a 4-0 Quaker advantage. The pitch fouled straight back. His ball battling at the plate to stay alive. Look down at Warrior head coach, and oh, by the way, her dad, Shane Ball, in the third base coaching box. Miller ready, and the pitch, that's fouled off. I've been watching high school softball for a long time, and that particular foul ball wasn't one of them, but you never get, despite the fact that you're sitting behind the backstop and the ball's not coming through the backstop, boy, if that thing's on a line right for you, you're ducking out of the way. Miller's pitch, a bunt attempt and a miss, a strikeout. Ball simply trying to put the ball in play. Strikes out. Back in the second inning, Miller struck out the side and attempting to do the same to Carrollton here in the top of the fourth as Jaden Pigeon comes to the plate. Pigeon ready, and so is Miller in the first pitch, a called strike. When you have a pitcher that is as dominant as Julia Miller can be, sometimes one of the unsung heroes in those scenarios, the 0-1, a swing at a miss, is the catcher. And for the Quakers, that's Emily Cardani. You've got to have a catcher who's talented enough to handle the pitcher, like Miller, who can fire the heat. The 0-2 pitch, outside and low, and you could see Emily sort of range to her right to stop that one that was out of the zone. So Emily, very key to what happens for the Quakers out there as well. The 1-2 pitch, high ball 2. A good-looking but quasi-chilly afternoon for softball at Tuscora Park. Miller's 1-2 pitch, that's high, ball 2. So far, a perfect game intact for Miller. Miller collects herself back of the circle. Now the pitch, that's fouled off, that's out of play. That's another Wabash softball. You want to put your chaise lounge out in the middle of Wabash. If you could avoid the traffic, you'd probably come up with a couple of foul balls every game. The pitch, that's high and outside, and the first base runner of the afternoon for Carrollton, Jaden Pigeon, with a 2-out walk here in the top of the fourth inning. Now to bring the freshman cleanup hitter to the plate for visiting Carrollton, Milena Havens. She struck out looking in her first at bat. Nine strikeouts so far for Miller. Pigeon on at first. And while the Quakers, obviously in possession of a 4-0 lead, a swing and a miss as Havens behind on that one. Now, we talk about analytics now in softball and baseball, and I guess part of it is the next pitch, outside for a ball. Cardani coming up the first base line and sort of looking Jaden Pigeon back to first base. Also kind of physics, though. If Havens can get into one as hard as Miller throws, that ball could get out of here quickly. The next pitch, there's a called strike. Miller a black 13 on the back of her red Quaker jersey. The pitch, that's fouled off of the screen first base side. You look at Havens, the freshman, certainly tall. The right-handed hitter, the next pitch. A called strike 3 to end the Carrollton fourth inning. The Warriors do get a runner on base, but stranded after 3.5. The Quakers leading 4-0.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Carrollton getting ready to face the Quakers here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Through 3 at-bats so far, the Quakers have piled up 4 runs, 2 in the first and 2 in the third against Carrollton. Right-handed pitcher Jaden Pigeon. And for the Quakers, here in inning number 4, it'll be 8, 9, and 1 in the Quaker lineup. Michaela Helmke leading things off, and first pitch from Pigeon outside for a ball. Helmke flew out to right field. Grace Rutledge making a nice catch out there for Carrollton back in the second inning. Next pitch, a strike. Brittany Fenton on deck, then back to the top of the Quaker lineup with Lily Goodwin. The 1-1 pitch high, ball 2. Pigeon back of the circle, trying to stay warm out there. And a swing, got a miss. Helmke stepping out of the batter's box, looking down at head coach Carly Ross. Coach says there's no signs. You got 2 strikes. Get back in there. The next pitch, that's down low for a ball. Helmke battling the next pitch. Popped up towards second base, and over to make the grab is sophomore Bailey McClellan for the first out in the fourth. Left-handed hitting, Brittany Fenton. Hitting in the 9th spot for Coach Ross's team. The designated player today is the senior, batting for Emily Cardani. Slaps it, a long fly ball to right field, but Rutledge will come in and make the grab for the second out of the inning. Interestingly enough, the Quakers scored 2 in the first, went 1, 2, 3 in the second, scored 2 in the third, and so far have gone 1, 2, and Carrollton is hoping 3 as Lily Goodwin comes to the plate. Lily today 1 for 2 with a run scored. First pitch a little bit outside for a ball. Goodwin fouls that one off and out of play. Mentioning earlier on that Claxon Communications teaming up with Big Z Sports to bring you high school baseball and softball all throughout the course of the season. You will be able to watch it and hear it. There's another line drive basically about the exact same place, and home plate umpire Ron Emmerich's looking around and says, hey, I need a softball so we can play. So somebody tracks down one of those foul balls off the bat of Goodwin, tosses it into Carly Ross, who fires it out to Jaden Pigeon in the circle. Next pitch, a called strike 3. So, as we were mentioning, the Quakers, 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the first, 1, 2, 3 in the second, 2 runs in the third, and then they go 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. After 4, it's the Quakers 4, Carrollton scoreless on Claxon Communications coverage of softball. Okay. Carrollton to the plate in the top of the 5th inning.
Going in for 16. He had the position change instead of the number.
Top of the 5th, batting number 17.
Here's something that's pretty interesting as Carrollton comes to the plate in the top of the 5th inning. Miller out and ahead in the count, 0-2. Now, the lineup card I was given does not have a number 17 on it. The next pitch, it's down to the dirt. 17 in as a pinch hitter, but if you're not on the lineup card, now maybe a different one was given to the umpire. The next pitch, a swing and a miss.
Batting next, number 25, Ashley.
Ashley Vipperman at the plate, swinging and missing. She struck out in her first at bat. Miller ahead, the 0-2 pitch, outside for a ball. So whoever 17 is came in the bat for Rutledge, but 17's not even on the lineup card. The next pitch fouled off and out of play. Count stays at 0-2. But I'm going to assume the umpire was given a different lineup card. Otherwise, when she stepped to the plate and the pitch was thrown, he would have called her out. The next pitch, a swing and a miss. So the strikeout numbers continuing to climb for Julia Miller, the talented junior right-hander for the Quakers. She's now struck out 12 in the afternoon. That'll bring up Demi Leary to the plate. She popped out on a nice play by first baseman Chloe Long in her first at bat. Back in the third. The next pitch. And misses out of the zone for ball 2. Next pitch down in the dirt for a ball. The 1-2 offering misses. Oh, called strike. My apologies. Now 2 strikes. Miller ready. The next pitch fouled off and out of play, and that's going to take a hop and a skip and bounce off the Carrollton school bus. Quakers needing a softball from somewhere, and one thrown in from out of play to the right-hander, Julia Miller. Called strike 3 as once again Miller strikes out the sign as Leary takes that called third strike. The Warriors going 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. After 4.5, New Philadelphia leading Carrollton. It's 4-0.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Bottom of the 5th inning having arrived at Tuscora Park in New Philadelphia. The Quakers, as you can see on this sun-splashed afternoon, leading 4-0. Madison Wright leading things off and swinging and missing. Madison enjoying a great day at the plate so far. 2 for 2, a run scored, and an RBI for the Quakers freshman shortstop. Strike in the first pitch. The next pitch fouled straight back. Quakers putting freshman Sarah Saweski into the game. She'll be in left field. And pitch, it looked a little bit outside. A called strike 3 on Wright.
Up to bat, number 13, Julia Miller.
4th strikeout of the afternoon for the junior Jaden Pigeon. That'll bring Julia Miller to the plate. And Miller today, 2 for 2, a run scored. 2 RBIs. First pitch from Pigeon, sailing outside for a ball. Flanagan, the catcher, and Miller, another long fly ball back into deep right center field, and that's going to bang off the wall in right center. Miller hustling for second, and she is in there with her 3rd hit of the day. Well, as the saying would go, she is now a triple away from hitting for the cycle. I think we'll see the courtesy runner again. Prouty out to second base. And that double to the wall, about a foot or 2 on the fly, away from being Miller's 2nd home run of the afternoon. That'll bring Chloe Long to the plate today. 1 for 2 with a run scored for the senior first baseman. Chloe also had a nice play at first base defensively earlier in the game. Pigeons first pitch to Long, missing for a ball. 1-0, Pigeon ready. That pitch missing, ball 2. Pigeon gets the ball back from her battery mate, Anissa Flanagan, to the back of the circle, now back onto the rubber. The pitch, there's a high fly ball into center field, ball backing on it, and she'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Now to bring another senior for the Quakers, and Chelsea Froman to the plate. Froman's batting line on the afternoon reached on an error on the second baseman back in the first and reached on a fielder's choice. Slaps it to third. The ball fielded, fires on to first base as the Quakers retired here in the bottom of the fifth after 5 quick-moving innings. It's New Philadelphia leading visiting Carrollton 4-0.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Carrollton Warriors in search of their first hit and their first run of the afternoon. Only one base runner all day. That came with a 2-out walk. The Quakers had Jaden Pigeon back in the fourth inning. The number 8 hitter for the Warriors, catcher Anissa Flanagan, to the plate, and her only at bat so far in the afternoon, having struck out. Miller having struck out 13 so far. Next pitch, a swing and a miss. The pitch, it's fouled straight back. On deck, Kat Shepard, then back to the top of the lineup for Carrollton, Bailey McClellan. Well, Miller for sure has been dominating again in the circle today. The pitch, slow roller to first base. Chloe Long will field and go back to the bag and retire Flanagan for the first out here in the 6th inning. Only 3 outs recorded so far today among 16 outs that were not strikeouts. Bailey McClellan flew out to center. Leary popped out to Long at first, and Flanagan just grounded to Long at first. Kat Shepard at the plate, the left fielder, who struck out in her only at bat against Miller. A swing and a miss as Miller bringing the gas. Quakers a 4-run advantage. Miller ready. And the pitch offers at it, says home plate umpire Ron Emmerich. Mr. Emmerich making the calls behind the plate. Rod Dessaker, the base umpire today. Pitch, a swing and a miss. Fourteenth strikeout today. Bailey McClellan, the leadoff hitter for the Warriors, at the plate. 0 for 2 today. A fly out to center and a strikeout. Miller ready, and the pitch high for a ball. Miller, a long look in at her catcher, Emily Cardani. That pitch low and outside. Miller, patient in the circle. Her next pitch, a called strike. A swing and a miss. So the count now full. Way ahead in the count was McClellan, but Miller has battled back. The 3-2 pitch. A foul back as McClellan stays alive against the Quakers' talented junior right-hander. The 3-2. That's popped up. Cardani off with the glove, and Emily making a nice play behind the plate as the Warriors go 1-2-3 here in the sixth. After 5.5, Quakers continuing to shut out visiting Carrollton. It's 4-0 from Claxon Communications.
Claxon Custom Printing and Promotions is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Contact Casey Claxon or Judd Bone at claxonprinting.com for printed t-shirts, embroidery, and branded promotional products for your booster club or business.
We can also help your team set up an online fundraising store to sell your team apparel to fans across the country.
Visit claxonprinting.com or call 740-623-2145.
Batting for the Quakers, number 9, Jenna Miller.
6, 7, and 8 in Carly Ross's lineup here in the bottom of the sixth inning, and what the Quakers are hoping will be their final at-bat of the day. Jenna Miller taking a called strike. Jenna today 0 for 2, a strikeout and a lineout to center field for the senior Quaker third baseman. That ball fouled back and out of play as the count moves to 0-2. Freshman Sarah Saweski on deck for the Quakers. She'll be getting her first at bat of the day. The 0-2 pitch, high for a ball. Saweski came in about an inning ago as a defensive replacement for Peyton Murphy in left. 1-2 on Miller. Slaps it to Leary at short, though on to first base in time to get Miller for the first out in the sixth.
Batting number 18, Sarah Saweski.
So Saweski will come to the plate. Pitch outside to the left-handed hitting freshman for a ball. Jaden Pitchin continuing to fire and plateward from the circle and slaps it into center field for a base hit. So Saweski getting her first at bat of the afternoon. Singles into center field.
Batting next, number 55, Michaelin Helmke.
Saweski's dad, Adam, a key part of the Big Z sports team, Claxon Communications, teaming up with them to bring you high school baseball and softball all throughout the course of the year. That ball hit off the second baseman's glove, and she does. The shortstop, Leary, grab it in time to force Saweski at second. Helmke will reach first
Brittany Fenton.
on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring Brittany Fenton to the plate. Fenton, the DP, batting ninth for the Quakers today. Pitch off the plate for a ball. Brittany, a senior. Quakers runs today, a total of 4, 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Pigeon's next pitch fouled into the dirt behind home plate. Helmke on at first, having reached down the fielder's choice. Pigeon ready, the next. 1-2 the count. Helmke with the stolen base, advancing into scoring position. Pigeon ready, and that ball fouled off the fencing area, just to the home plate side of the Quakers' third base dugout. Now the storyline in this game, of course, can the Quakers hang on for a win, and will Julia Miller fire a no-hitter today? We'll find out as we go to the 7th. The pitch to in the 7th. So can the Quakers win? Can Julia Miller complete the no-hitter? After
have participating students, including your child. Be respectful. To learn more, watch the parent seat video at the
here at Tuscora Park, and the Quakers trying to finish with a win and finish with a no-hitter. So far, Carrollton so the Quakers a 4-run lead, and the Warriors yet to have a base hit. They've had only one base runner the entire game, Jalen Pigeon with a walk back in the 4th. Michaela Ball, who has struck out in both of her at-bats. Julia Miller with 14 strikeouts trying to fire the no-no. The first pitch to Ball, inside for a ball. Quakers trying to remain undefeated on this young 2021 season. Miller ready. The next pitch popped up. Foul and out of play. 1-1 on Ball. Ball, a strikeout victim of Julia Miller in both of her at-bats. Ball, an 11th grader, has made some nice plays out in center defensively today for Carrollton. The next pitch, that's popped up. Chloe Long going to make the grab between first and second. Now to bring Jaden Pigeon to the plate. And the Quakers and Julia Miller now 2 outs away from the win and the no-hitter. I'm going to bring Jaden Pigeon to the plate. Jaden, the only Warrior to reach base today with that 4th inning walk, and takes a called strike in her other at-bat back in the first. Pigeon fanned. 0-1. Miller ready. The next pitch, high and outside for a ball. As we mentioned, no doubt you can hear that wind picking up a little bit here. Checking into her catcher Cardani, the 1-1 pitch. Popped up towards second base. There to make the grab for the Quakers, the second baseman, Helmke. So 2 outs in the 7th, and the Warriors are down to their final out, and Miller and the Quakers 1 out away from a no-hitter. The third baseman, Milena Havens, trying to pick up a base hit and swings and misses. Havens has fanned in both of her at-bats. 14 strikeouts on the day for Miller. The 0-1 pitch, fouled straight back, 0-2. So Miller and the Quakers now 1 strike away from a win and a no-hitter. Miller ready. The 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2, as for now, Havens and the Warriors stay alive against Julia Miller and the Quakers. Miller to the back of the circle, now climbs onto the rubber. And the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss, and Miller and the Quakers have done it won the game and fired a no-hitter as Miller picks up her 15th strikeout on the afternoon. The Quakers stay undefeated on the year as they pick up a 4-0 victory. We'll take a quick timeout, come back and run back some final numbers for you today. The Quakers in impressive fashion. That's the case anytime you get a no-hitter. We'll come back and tell you more about that as they stay undefeated on the season.
I just want to play.
I just want to play. I just want to play.
Play.
Play. Along the way, I'm learning
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship. Teamwork.
Teamwork.
How to work hard.
How to work hard. Discipline.
Hustle.
Sacrifice.
How to be a leader.
Dedication.
I just want to play.
And along the way, I'm learning to put the team before myself.
To put the team before myself.
How to be a student.
How to be a student.
I'm learning
to set a good example.
How to work hard.
To accept responsibility.
That I represent my community.
That I represent my community.
I just wanted to play, and look where it took me.
She's done it! Tiana Bartoletta has done it! From Elyria, Ohio, now an Olympic gold medalist.
Welcome back to Tuscora Park. Bill Morgan here with the Quakers in impressive fashion, rolling over Carrollton today 4-0. Quakers led without question today by junior pitcher Julia Miller, who fires a no-hitter, allowed only one base runner in the game. That came with a fourth-inning two-out walk to her opposite number, Carrollton pitcher Jaden Pigeon. But Pigeon was left on base as her following teammate, Melena Havens, would strike out in that particular inning. Speaking of strikeouts, Miller fanned 15 on the day in the no-no, and again allowed only that one base runner back in the fourth. Offensively for New Philadelphia, Miller leading the charge there on the day as well, as Miller went 3 for 3, a solo home run, a single and an RBI in that at-bat, which was at bat number 2 on the day, and a double as well, so 3 for 3 at the plate with an RBI and a run scored. Also offensive highlights for the Quakers today. Couple of base hits for freshman shortstop Madison Wright as she doubled and singled, had an RBI and a run scored. Also scoring for the Quakers, Lily Goodwin, who was 1 for 3 on the day in the contest as well. With the victory, the Quakers stay undefeated on the season as their early roll through the 2020-21 campaign continues. 2-0 in the last 2 days. Their victory Friday over Meadowbrook, 21-3, as the Quakers back-to-back wins on back-to-back days. Hey, don't forget that continuing coverage of high school softball and baseball will continue with Claxon Communications and the Big Z sports team. It all begins coming up this coming Wednesday, April 7th, as the Central Catholic Saints, just on the other side of the hill, play host to Newcomerstown in softball. It'll be Joe Geckler and Chris Kale on the call of that game. Then Joe and Chris will have another big matchup right here from Tuscora Park on Friday night of next week as Dover comes to town, take on the Quakers in softball. You'll be able to follow that game. If you want to hear audio, that'll be on the WTUZ webpage. Meanwhile, if you want audio with the great call from Joe and Chris, as well as video, check out WTUZ's Facebook page for Claxon Communications, bringing you all of that action. So certainly that's a big partnership from Claxon Communications and Big Z Sports. And again, Joe Geckler and Chris Kale with the call of those two games next week. It's softball beginning the coverage of the 2020 win campaign from Big Z Sports, Newcomerstown at Central Catholic on Wednesday, and New Philadelphia right back here at Tuscora Park hosting arch-rival Dover next Friday. Thanks for watching today, our season debut with Claxon Communications of high school softball. New Philadelphia blanking Carrollton 4-0 on the power of Julia Miller's no-hitter, where she struck out 15 and went 3 for 3 at the plate, including a home run. Thanks to our production team, executive producer Casey Claxon, along with camera operators Greg Perkins and Sander Tristano, and most of all, thank you for watching. I'm Bill Morgan, and I'll see you at a game.